Welcome to another Listener into Lead podcasting tip, where I'll be sharing 30 tips on how coaches can begin to nurture listeners into leads while positioning themselves as a trusted authority with their very own podcast. Want to get leads and business from your podcast? You're in the right place. Hi, this is Anne-Marie and welcome to another Listener into Lead podcast tip for coaches and consultants who want to launch a podcast to nurture listeners into leads, get clients and build their business with their podcast. This is tip number 24. Now, have you ever heard the saying, marketers ruin everything? Every Tom, Dick and Harry, sorry to all of those of you who are called Tom, Dick and Harry, no offense to you whatsoever. However, just making my point that every unscrupulous marketer under the sun jumps on the bandwagon overusing something so much that it can become tarnished. Now, an example where that happened recently was a technology platform I invested in. It was still in beta with a promise to be an incredible solution. However, unbeknownst to the developers, there were a handful of people who had been using the email system to send out so many unsolicited emails that the developers had to shut down their entire email system. And they had to do that for months and months while they sorted out the issue of being blacklisted. It was terrible and a great example of how marketers, especially unscrupulous marketers, ruin everything. Now, another example is when certain words and phrases are used. Personally, I despise the word hack. Hack this and hack that. I don't despise it as much as I used to, but previously, oh my goodness, it just really was like, when you run your fingers, your nails down the blackboard. I would hear that word over and over on my podcast years ago to the point that I'd cringe every time I heard it. Now, one word that has been used and in some instances overused and abused is the word authenticity. Marketers talking about authenticity when they were anything but authentic in their approach and with their marketing. But for me, the word authentic is integral. My leading brand archetype, and I use the branding archetypes when I'm working with clients to understand their personal brand and that unique experience that only they can bring through the blend of their archetypes. But my leading brand archetype is Explorer. And Explorer is all about pioneering the discovery of someone's truth, your truth, my truth. So words such as unique, individual, authentic, these are words that express what I stand for, what I help people with, and helping them to identify what's unique and authentic for them, bringing out their inner truth and helping them bring that out into their marketing and their content. So for me, authenticity, when it comes to your personal brand, and hence my background in personal branding, well, it is integral, which is why one of my core personal branding principles is authenticity is not a buzzword, it's paramount. And that is today's tip. Authenticity on your podcast, it's not a buzzword, it is paramount. Because the opposite of authenticity is fake, which is why I cringe when I hear other marketers tell their clients, just make a story up, just fake it. If your story is too boring, just make one up. Ugh, that feels horrible because you are a change maker, and change makers, they don't fake things. They don't lie. They don't need to. Instead, being authentic means being genuine, being real, the real deal. And that's how you should be on each and every episode of your podcast, whether you're interviewing guests or whether you're doing a solo show on your own. So over to you. What does authenticity and being authentic mean to you? And what aspects of being authentic will you continue to bring forward as you show up on your podcast? I'll see you in the next tip. Do you feel like the world's best kept secret and thinking about starting a podcast to build your visibility and reach? Or maybe you've started a podcast but you're just not generating the results you'd hope for. Go ahead and access my profitable and purposeful podcasting masterclass where I'll show you how, with the right strategy in place, you can begin to nurture listeners into leads from your very first episode. Go to www.podcastingwithpurpose.com/listener into lead. That's podcastingwithpurpose.com/listener into lead.